Hello, Aries. Welcome to the Divine Dojo. I am filming this Tuesday, May 6th, and this is going to go through to May 12th, but obviously time is a construct, so whenever it finds you, it's meant to be for you. So this reading will lead up to the May 12th, which is the Scorpio full moon. But other than the Scorpio full moon, it's actually a pretty chill week. The moon is in Virgo and will move into Leo later on tonight, tomorrow, early in the mornings. What do we have? We have Mercury sextiling Jupiter. We have Venus sextiling Pluto, which is one of the last sextiles we'll see until next year. On the 10th, we have, and I'm looking at my notes, that's why I'm looking this way. Mercury enters Taurus, which is a great time to have very grounding and practical conversations about either like finances or planning about our finances. Having some deep conversations about that, if that is something, trusts, legal issues, things like that, but mainly having to do with finances, your own personal finances and stuff, things like that, taxes. If, we haven't done that here in California, they extended tax deadline, but anyhow, that's another whole rabbit hole I don't want to get into. So it's definitely favorable for financial planning, financial discussions. And then, it leads up to the energies build and lead up into that full moon in Scorpio, which is going to be, it's all about, deep, transformative, releasing, transformations in probably like our egos as well, releasing old stories, old things that don't serve us, whether they be people, places, things, addictions, bad habits. The Scorpio full moon is a great time to go ahead and do a ritual, right? To write things that you don't no longer wish, or cutting cords, and write those things down and wish them well, and send them off with love. But definitely, I think writing things down and burning them, burying them, or throwing them in the ocean or a body of water, working with the energy of water or whatever, whatever works for you. I like burning things, but also water is good. So, that's a good time. And it's it's deep emotions, maybe within ourselves, maybe things that have, we've been hiding from ourselves from a long time, maybe deep-seated emotions that we haven't been wanting to feel. That Scorpio full moon is a good time to, tap in, tune in, and feel the emotions, and, write everything down or meditate on them, and, do some releasing on them. So other than that, like, I think this week is pretty chill, like soft, cushy week, so enjoy it. We got to enjoy it while we can. So what am I being called to? Well, first of all, I'm being called to clear the energy because it's foggy here. This fog has not let up. Sometimes in the afternoon, the sun will creep out. I'm in Los Angeles, and just the fog, and by the beach. So the fog is just, and I know we have a good life here in Los Angeles and we have great weather, but after a couple of days of just like nonstop fog, you're just like, where's the sun, So anyhow, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's just been foggy. So it's like you wake up kind of slow and all of that type of stuff. So let's jazz up the energy. Let's clear up the energies, bring in the good vibes for the Aries collective for the week of May 6th through May 12th. And if you want to take a deep breath in and release it whenever you're ready. Deep breath in. That's a good one. And release whenever you're ready. you know, sound vibrations is going to be the new way of healing. Sound therapy, sound vibrations. Excuse me, sorry, my lips are dry. I just went on a walk with my Callie Boo, my little dog, and now she's napping, and we rets to go here. We're ready. Take a sip of coffee. The Golden Girls, classic TV. All right. Aries collective, you guys are awesome. Yeah, I'm feeling called to, I'm like looking around. If you see me looking around, I'm looking around because I'm being called. Normally I don't start with these cards, but I'm being called to put an Akashic Records Oracle card for you guys. So gotta go with it, right? All right, Spirit, give me a clear message for Aries collective for the week of, thank you, May 6th through the 12th. And one jumped out right away. Obligation. Obligation is a good one. I don't know if you can see it. This ring light definitely gives a lot of glare. Anyways, we'll work on the lighting and sound on this, but whatever. For right now, I'm starting off. It's fine. You know, gotta go with it. So it says obligation. So what are you being obligated, or what do you feel obligated to do? It says, stop telling yourself you should when you cater to others or to unnecessary expectations of yourself. You stop your flow of abundance. So that's your opening card. So let's see where this story takes us, Aries, for this week of the 6th through the 12th. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to pull an archetype card from the Kim Kranz deck. All right, Spirit, we invite you in to this reading and to help me be a clear vessel, help me give Aries a clear message for what's going on this week. Thank you, Spirit. So we got the animal. Hopefully you can see it. The animal. So maybe it's like letting go of these obligations and letting, you know, our animalistic nature kind of come through, and you know, let go of what we think we should be doing and actually do what we feel inside we must do, or like we're putting off on ourselves, or that we're holding back on, right? You know, as long as it's not hurting other people or anything like that, right? You want to tap into that wild animal side of you this week, and especially, you know, during that full moon in Scorpio. Maybe you need to fucking howl at the moon. Ow! You know, I don't know. I love doing that shit. I used to have a dog named Oso who howled at the moon, you know, well, we used to howl, and I would howl and he would howl with me. But my current dog, Callie, she just kind of looks at me like, what are you doing? So that's not fun, but whatevers. I still do it, you know, but it is fun when you get to howl with your animal dog, you know, your buddy. Yeah, the animal. I like that card. I like it. All right, Spirit. Let's get a clear message thank you, for Aries. A few more cards. Something popped out. I don't know what it is. And that keeps me high. All right, so we got the Knight of Cups, creativity, the King of Swords, the Hangman, the World, the Hierophant, and the Lovers, and the 9 reversed. So 2 of Cups, right? I mean, the Knight of Cups. I've been saying the wrong things all the readings. Yeah, you know, like this knight he's charming, he's definitely romantic, you know. Maybe he's bringing a new opportunity in love, you know, and keep in mind, it's just energy. It doesn't mean that it's like an actual guy that's coming through, you know. Maybe there's like a new romance coming through, you know, following your heart. Yeah, because this is, then you have the King of Swords. I'm reading them because I want to make sure I'm giving the right things. I'm always like, I've been saying the wrong things this week, you know, so maybe there's something to that. So yeah, so you have the, you know, the King of Swords, which is definitely, you know, the disciplined king, the truthful king, the king that is, you know, can be cutting. It's not reverse. So luckily he's, you know, more on that kinder side, but he's definitely direct and truthful. So maybe there's some, you know, some truth coming in for you. And then we have the Hangman, which is great, you know, it's surrendering to whatever truth this is coming in. We do have the World reverse, you know, so a chapter is closing or has closed. So, you know, and I'm being drawn back to the obligation card, because after the World card reverse, we have the Hierophant upright, and maybe this is something to do with, like, you know, this has to do with like the institutions, you know, like traditional way of doing things, you know, in a traditional manner. Like we've all been programmed, right? I don't care who you are, or, you know, if you grew up in this day and age, we've all been programmed, you know, growing up watching TV, growing up listening to radio, growing up to, especially my generation, like Generation X, you know, watching movies, this and that. We were, and going to school and being like raising our hands. We were programmed, right? We were programmed to be little worker bees. And obviously this is changing with the new generation. They're more like not wanting to work and not doing things in the conventional way. And it leads me back to this obligation card, you know, like maybe you shouldn't do something in a traditional way. Maybe you feel like, you know, an obligation to something that you have done for a long time, but maybe you don't want to freaking do it anymore, right? And maybe it's looking at it in a different light and coming at the problem or at the issue or situation in a different way, and not doing it the traditional conventional way. And, you know, with Pluto being in Aquarius retrograde, you know, the Aquarius is the rebel, it's the innovator, it's the inventor, right? So maybe it is coming up with new innovative ideas or innovative and creative ways of doing something that's, you know, traditional in a different type of light. So yeah, because then after the Hierophant, you have the Lovers card, and then the Nine of Pentacles reverse. So to me, it's like, yeah, there's definitely, when you make that kind of different, innovative, and not focus on obligation or like what you should do in a certain traditional type of way, maybe it's about innovating and doing it in a different way, because there is harmonious partnerships, unions, alignment, you know, and values that are aligned together, right? Or that can come aligned together with maybe doing something different. So, yeah, and like and then the two, this one in the World, the Nine of Pentacles in the World are the only cards reversed. So that's interesting. And, you know, reverse, the Nine of Pentacles is about, like, well, upright, it's about giving and receiving, having reciprocal relationships, partnerships, you know, all of that type of stuff. But reverse, it definitely means like it's like one-sided type of energy. Maybe there is some strings attached or a dominating factor here. So I'm going to get clarity on the World and, you know, what this Nine of Pentacles is. But overall, good energy is about like seeing things differently, and maybe, you know, start to move the should into changing the language of should, right? Or instead of, oh, like I need to, or I should do this, it's like, no, well, I get to do it, right? Like maybe bring in like a different perspective to it, right? Like I get to do this, like I get to, you know, pay my bills, and I have the funds to pay my bills, instead of like I should pay my bills, or that's just an example, you know, of like a basic example of everyday type of stuff, you know, like paying bills, right? Like we all have, not all of us, but you know, the manifestation group out there is like maybe shifting it, you know, shifting the energy and shifting our language, which, you know, language is spells. You know, we are spelling every day. We're doing spell work all the time into the universe by what we speak, right? And what we think about. So instead of, you know, thinking like, oh, I should go and do what X, Y, and Z, and it's like, no, let's maybe switch it up and, you know, start thinking of like, I get to do it, right? Like bring some excitement and, you know, flip it upside down and flip it on its head and just be like, I get to do this, you know, I have the luxury to do this. I have the means, you know, thank you, God, for letting me, you know, being able to pay my bills, whatever, right? It's a shift in perspective. So anyhow, I don't know what this is about, but yeah, I mean, it could be about relationships, or, you know, like maybe it is about like having a conversation, and it's like, oh, I should have this conversation. And it's like, no, bring a different approach, bringing a different approach to it, or seeing it in a different way. It's like, oh no, I get to do this. So because then our relationship can evolve, or whatever is going to happen, right? And get rid of like the should, like, oh, I should go and talk to him. It's like, no, I'm excited to talk to this person because I value them. You know, thank you. I value them, and et cetera, et cetera. And then you get to, sorry, I had asked, I thought I did it to you guys, but I had asked, you know, what the world was about. And it's like, we have the 10 of Wands, which you see, she has her little cart. She's like down the mountain. She's like, she's over that hill, you know, like usually in the traditional tarot, you have the 10 of, you know, the guy like has all the wands, and he's like almost there to that house or whatever, to that little village. And he, you know, he's almost there. He's about to put it down. Well, this girl has put them down, and she's packed her bags, and she has walked away, and she's over the hill and beyond the village, and is moving on, right? Which is what the world is typically is. It's like endings, right? Completion, new chapters. And I do get that here, you know, but maybe something has been holding you back. And here it is. Here's that moon, you know. So maybe something has been holding you back, or maybe it is this obligation, right? Whatever that is to you, everybody's going to be different. So it's going to resonate and be a different circumstance for all of you guys out there. It's a collective, so it's general, right? So maybe something has been hidden, and there's those wolves. I love those wolves. Yeah. But then you have, you know, you have the Knight of Wands. So there is this new energy, you know. This knight is, he comes forth with like new opportunity, you know, with courage and, I don't want to say strength, but definitely he's like a courageous knight, right? And so there's something definitely to look forward to, because she's like beating the drum, and the drum, it has like a fire. So there's like a new fire lit up, and maybe it's about, you know, letting go of this obligation, and or seeing this obligation in a different type of way, and changing our language towards it, and changing our mindset towards it, And, you know, maybe then we'll start to see some forward movement. You know, we've all been in the sludge for the past 5-6 months. I mean, I want to even say like 8 months, but whatever, right? So yeah, so you know, we're finally having the energies kind of move in a new direction. So, and this full moon, I believe, is going to be the catalyst to where we're actually going to start seeing those changes come to fruition, or you know, the endings, or getting that final clarity that we need, right? Because the full moon illuminates what is hidden. So yeah, I like that for you guys, Aries. Let me clarify this six of did I call it the 9? This is the 6 of Pentacles, sorry. I'm telling you, this whole week, it's barely Tuesday. Anyhow, what is the 6 of Pentacles doing here? Yeah, we got the Queen of Pentacles. She was reversed, but either way, you know, this Queen is, you know, happy. She's in good financial, in a good financial space. You know, she has freedom. She's well off. You know, she's set, you know, in a lot of ways, and is just chilling, you know, with her pentacle in her garden and being happy. So there's definitely something to look forward to. And I think I just got a heart chakra ping, maybe something to do with your heart. Why is this Queen of Pentacles? She was reversed, so I want to clarify. Why is this Queen of Pentacles reversed? Why is this Queen of Pentacles reversed? Oh my God, there's way too many cards here. Okay, so why is it? Okay, so we got the Hierophant again, upright. Yes, it's like letting go of this obligation that we feel inside ourselves, that we need to be doing XYZ, right? Maybe you don't need to be doing it, and maybe it's like time to let it go, right? Maybe it's time to let go of that desire of whatever, you know, you've been wanting to have work out. And you'll know by, you know, the Scorpio full moon if it's like something that you go within, align yourself, meditate, or, you know, however it is that you meditate. You don't need to sit there like a freaking Buddha and to do a meditation. You can walk your dog and be meditating and just kind of, you know, contemplating in your head, right? But yeah, maybe it's something letting go or having forgiveness for something, because you do have the 8 of Cups. It was reversed. Again, you know, moving on. This is disappointment, so now maybe you're recovering from disappointment. And then you have the Empress reversed. So yeah, I mean, I think I see good things here this week. It's just there's something with going back to the Catalyst card, the main opener card, is like maybe look at the obligations that you think you should be doing, or your life should be looking this way at this point in time. It should be this, it should be that, I should be this, I should be that, we should be this, we should be that, you know. Just be and enjoy the present moment is what I was given. What is the advice for Aries for this week? Oh, yeah, you got the wheel. You got the Wheel of Fortune, and then the 6 of Swords. Yeah, it's time to, you know, move on with whatever this situation is, and looking at it in a different way. The wheel is moving, but to be in your favor, you know, you need to start looking at things in a different manner. So what is this situation about? I mean, again, this is general, so I don't want to get too specific. What flipped over? The devil. Yeah, the devil. Two of Pentacles and Three of Swords. So yeah, there's it's just like the devil maybe is like wanting you to keep looking at these, like the devil is the I should, right? I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be doing. That's what the devil loves. It's like us constantly being like, I should, instead of being in the present and enjoying ourselves and not feeling like we should to anything. Of course, there's things that we need to get done, you know, day to day and things like that. But what is this devil, you know, that's having you feel obligated to do whatever that you feel like you need to do? And then obviously the Two of Pentacles is like, you know, obviously there's choices that need to be made. Maybe this did deal with heartbreak, but you know, there is healing, there is recovery, so that's good. If it is having to do with heartbreak, the Lovers is here, so maybe it is about a relationships, partnerships. You know, it doesn't have to be necessarily romantic. Yeah, but we have Libra, Aries, Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, Gemini energies. Taurus, Gemini, Taurus. Yeah, that's what I get here. Obviously Capricorn energy here. So yeah, that's, I'm going to pull a Wisdom of the Oracle card. Can we get just a final, like, clear message for Aries? Breathe and Milk and Honey. Two of my favorite cards, right? I love the Breathe because it's just like, we always forget that we have this miraculous thing called our breath. And when we're walking around, you know, stressed and anxiety written in our lives, you know, if you suffer from anxiety, we always forget just like what a nice deep inhale and exhale can do for us, you know, and just taking a moment to remember our breath, you know, when we're feeling anxiety or we're feeling short of breath or we're feeling heart palpitations, like how can we calm our nervous system down? This is really kind of a calm week, right? So use the breath spirit, you know, the energy, I shouldn't say spirit, the energy of your breath, you know, that we take for granted. We breathe every second and we don't even know. Right? We're just breathing. We're here, we're breathing, and we take for granted our breath, you know. How can you take time this week to honor yourself and honor your breath and enjoy this milk and honey? Milk and honey is just like the sweetest time. It's like talking about living in the present and letting go of this should, instead of being like, what do I want to do? What do I enjoy doing? What brings me joy? Doing more of that to enjoy this milk and honey time in the life. This is one of my favorite cards, right? Because this is just the sweetness of life, you know, the simple things, but they're the best things in the world, you know. And a lot of those things that we take for granted. So I'll read the milk and honey because I think that will be beneficial for you guys. Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, the breath is something that we take for granted. We don't even think about because we just breathe, right? We just don't even know. Since birth, we're just like breathing and don't even know. You know, maybe breath work, it will be helpful for you. And reach out to me. You know, I do facilitate breathwork journeys for people, and I am going to start doing breathwork videos for the collective on YouTube. I just haven't had the time to do that. I'm just focusing a lot on the tarot right now, but let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I can do it via Zoom. And if you are interested, just make sure you have headphones, because the journey and the experience is good with headphones, and they can be wireless. You just need to be connected to your computer. Anyhow, enough of that self-promoting stuff. But yeah, the milk and honey, I think it's just being in the present moment, getting rid of the shoulds, and doing what you actually enjoy for yourself. You know, obviously pay the bills, do the day-to-day mundane stuff, you know, but enjoying yourself a little bit more, right? Especially since we do have a nice calm week this week in terms of the energies. So yeah, I'm gonna pull an angel number card, read the animal, and then read the milk and honey, and call it a day. So you got 1919 cycles. It says karma, transformation, balance, influence, power, cycles, change, renewal. Karma is approaching. Let go of the need to control, as you cannot force things to happen. Embrace the lessons life offers to prevent them from repeating in the future. Make room for new experiences and positive transformations in your life. Yeah, this obligation situation, you know, I love tarot because, you know, spirit doesn't lie. It all comes together one way or another. So anyways, that's what I have for you for this week. I'm going to read the animal and then milk and honey. So, I hope you had a great weekend, Aries. Where is it? Here it is. It says the animal. Says the beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. And keep in mind, you know, it's just energies. We are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs remind us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined, our animalistic nature, yet through this archetype we tap into the power and direction. Activating the animal within means awakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our vein, and the breath. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and a starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, we have the moon, you know, here, and it's time to, you know, be a little bit more Aries, you know, like balls to the walls and just let's fucking go, right? And kind of get rid of these shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or this should, like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, you know, like whatever the shoulds is, and tap in more this week into that wild side, especially with that new moon in Scorpio. Obviously, just be careful, you know, don't hurt anybody, you know, as long as you're not hurting anybody or doing anything to hurt yourself, more importantly. Definitely, it seems to me that you need to tap into more of that wild side and brave, you know, because there are beautiful things here. So milk and honey. Where are we? Milk and honey. 51. Here it is. Milk and honey. Milk and honey. Hopefully you can see it. The taste of prosperity, opportunities, the taste of prosperity, Opportunities born of authenticity. Yeah, maybe that's that devil. Trusting that your needs will be met. The Oracle's message. You've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. Hold on. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious, when all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy that you are living a part of. All your needs are being met. You are giving the gift of nourishment in every form. Yeah, I'm going to read the protection message because I feel like that's more of the vibe here, you know, for you guys for this week, Aries. Hopefully you can see this. It says, a nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. And maybe that's that devil energy. It works in the moment, but only fleetingly. Before the feelings return, and you need to re-up until you're exhausted, feeling worse than before. You may continue struggling, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. To spirit, right? Now is the time for practicing extreme self-care. If you can do so before you engage in behaviors you will regret later. You are so loved and so cared for. Feel love and compassion for yourself. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. That's all that counts right now. Yeah, I think it's like, you know, not feeling obligated for whatever it is your situation is going to be different for everybody, but you know, tapping into that wild side, connecting to spirit, connecting to nature is maybe what you need. And obviously in a safe way, whatever that means to you. And I heard letting go and connecting. Yeah, you need some nature, I think, this week. So use that full moon. Be careful out there, Aries. I do love you guys. If you like this video, if it resonated, please feel free to share in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. That way I can tap into your collective energy. I hope this reading helped. It's a great week. You know, you just need to get a little wild and, you know, let go of those like obligations that are just kind of like yapping. You know, that devil is probably in your ear, you know, saying you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this, you should be doing, right? So tell that motherfucker to go away. And or just, you know, transmute the energy by being wild and free and enjoying yourself and being more in the present moment and connecting to spirit in whatever ways is, you know, good for you. So I love you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you soon.